So let's begin. A while ago, sabi ng inyong professor na si Sir James, Happy New Year daw. Kaya pinilitan ko agad yung slide ko na Happy New Year at hindi Happy Valentine. Ayan. But again, I appreciate your time, spending your time with us today. I believe in the Philippines, it's Tuesday there. So yes. Right. So I was already introduced. My name is Athena, but you can call me Atcha. I am based in San Diego, California. Kaya gabi na dito. I am currently working for a restaurant technology company based in New York. It's called Part Technology. I'm working as a technical support specialist and PCS coach. And nag-start ako public speaking when I was in third year college. I was invited to different universities and tech companies to share my knowledge from what I learned sa school, online, and also working early. I started working in the industry nung third year college ako. I was given the opportunity to create apps and to also share different fields in tech, including social media, being an application analyst, and being a community manager as well. And I'm very happy to share them with you today. Ayan. First, before I begin, I've heard that Sir James told you na for computer science students, we don't have web development classes. Is that correct? Ayan, that's really interesting to hear kasi with sa amin, the curriculum sa amin in computer science, we're also taught web development classes. But good thing that I was informed about it, so I would also give more detail for IT and CS students about web development. But going back to the slide, bakit nga ba mahalaga ang web development? Kung ano lang yung unang pumasok sa isip nyo. Why is web development important? At siya, bakit kailangan natin matutunan to sa araw ng Valentine's Day? Anyone? Ayan. Anyone can share your answers in the chat? Ayan. Minsan si Atcha, pag walang nag-chat, namimili siya ng sasagot. Kaya kung ayaw niyo matawag kayo, ayan, mag-chat na po kayo. Okay, any guess? Hindi po kailangan nobela. Alam po ngayon ng araw na send tayo ng nobela, pero go ahead, share the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear the word web development and why is it so important? Ayan. Anyone like to share? I'm checking the names right now. Ayan, let me know if you have an answer. I'm also seeing the comments here sa ating Facebook Live. Ayan. I'm interested to hear from at least 3 people. Ang dami natin today, 100. Ayan. But if no one's gonna answer, tignan natin yung mga nag-hi sa akin kanina. Ayan. Ang unang nag-hi sa akin, may nag-message, di ba? Nabilis kausap. Sabi ni Cedric, web development is important because it provides a platform to connect with others. Very good. Yes, definitely. It's important dahil saan nga ba naman tayo makapag-connect with other people without web development, without websites, without the creation of web pages. Ayan, thank you, Cedric. How about the others? 2 more answers before I proceed. We have here from Lance, easy to access plus lightweight. Yes. Hindi kasing bigat nung araw na sinaktan ka niya. Charot! Ayan, di ba? Alam mo, dahil yung araw na to, di ako titigil mag-google para din, di ba, mabuhayan kayo ng dugo at makinig kayo at matuto today. Ayan, very good, Lance. Thank you. And sabi ni Jella, it can be used in marketing. Definitely. And when it comes to web development, not only that you're practicing your coding or technical skills, also it challenges you to be able to know how to visually market a product in the web. And also how can you make it enticing o kaakit-akit, ayan, kaakit-akit to your target viewers or customers. Sabi niya, it also provides platform for business industry. Yes, definitely. And later I will also share with you the different ways other business owners can create their own websites without programming or without coding as well. Sabi ni Froilan, web development is important because it is the foundation of today's digital world and I thank you. Kinugal mo yan, no? Anyway, pero that is a very good answer. Thank you, Ayan. I appreciate your active participation and I'm looking forward to seeing more of it later. Ayan. So, let's begin. Okay. So, if you're going to Google right now, web development trends in 2023, there have been similarities. So, merong mga pare-parehong sagot if you're going to compare it 5 day, not 5 days ago, but 5 years ago, decades ago, halos same exact trends. The only reason why, kung bakit nagsistay pa rin yung mga trends na yun, or yung mga different technologies is because it's always improving. Hindi porket, let's say, in 2020, machine learning was one of the web development trends. You're not and then in 2023, you're not expecting it to be a trend. It is still a trend because it's always improving, it's always evolving, it's always changing to become better. And what makes 2023 web development trends different is because they're focusing on the three. So they're focusing on efficiency, comfort, and convenience. Those are the top three things that in general then in the years to come, yun din naman talaga yung focus in any type of technology, in any type of innovation is for us to be more comfortable, to have more accessibility in all of the tools and technologies that we use. Ayan. Okay. So, with web development trends, medyo inusog ko lang kayo dito kasi kung mag-open cam kayo, syempre gusto ko din kayo makita. Ayan. So, these are technologies that will help shape accessibility and responsiveness of websites. I will share with you guys mga 10 or 11 trends for the year and also some other tips that can help you, especially for the graduating students. So very first is blockchain technology. If you have heard of blockchain technology, the definition is here on the screen. It stores information in blocks, which are joined as chains. If you heard of Bitcoin, these are one of the examples of blockchain technology. And it includes making transactions secure and error-free. And this enables web developers to use open source system that makes development much easier. And to add more with that, blockchain is the what in definition is the encrypted database storing system. Walang third party. Ayan, walang third party guys ha. So, ayun yung blockchain technology. My source here is GMI. Ayan. Next, PWA. This is also one of the emerging trends. The past 2 or 3 years, and I'm very happy that I'm able to meet the people in our PWA Pilipinas community. So PWA means Progressive Web Applications. To easier, para mas madali nyo siyang maintindihan, you can create an application that can be accessible offline. So Atcha, paano nangyayari yun? So it saves the cache, so you can access a website, you can access YouTube kahit offline, kahit wala kang internet. You can access Spotify kahit wala kang internet. Yes, it's possible with progressive web applications. So these web apps work as a site that is nearly identical to a native mobile application. It operates outside the browser and communicates with users like a native app. And ano ba yung kinalaman nito, Atcha, sa web development trend or web app developers? If you create an application, if you create a progressive web application, mas mababa yung cost, low development costs. It does not depend on app distribution services like the App Store or Google Play Store. So another example of a PWA is the Starbucks application. Yan. So if you want to learn more about PWA, I also have a video on my YouTube channel about the introduction to PWA. And if you want further expertise when it comes to creating your very first PWA, you can also check PWA Pilipinas on their Facebook page. So maraming experts in creating progressive web applications. Ayan. All right. Next trend is accelerated mobile pages. So ako din, when I started researching about the trends this year, isa din to sa mga hindi natin masyado narinig is the AMP or what we call accelerated mobile pages. So ayan, na-distract ako. Sabi ni Adrian, rise and shine everyone. Happy Hearts Day. Napaka-full of energy mo naman, Adrian. Ayan, welcome. Okay. AMP is a project collaboration between Google and Twitter to create faster mobile pages. So AMP pages load in about 2 seconds only. Compared to a non-accelerated mobile pages, it takes at least 22 seconds to load. So di natin napapansin yon. Pero if you sa 100, ayan, ina-add ko na 123 people that are watching right now in Zoom and Facebook, if you're planning or you're interested to become a software engineer or a web developer, these are the other things that you also need to consider in creating your web or mobile application. Ayan, at yung tawag natin, accelerated mobile pages. Early adopters are CNBC and the Washington Post. Ayan. And the reason why AMPs are being a trend right now, kasi also the goal of web development for 2023 is to reduce costs and to also save costs on user experience. And accelerated mobile pages also attract users that have low internet. Kagaya natin dyan sa Pilipinas, mga PLDT users, ganyan. So, I also had a hard time working in the Philippines na napakabagal when loading a page. Ayan. Ready na rin po akong ma-develop. Parang tricky ang sinabi mo, Angelo. Ano yung ma-develop? Mag-web development? Ayan. All right. So, those are accelerated mobile pages. Okay. Next is voice search optimization. So, pag sinabi kong, hi, Bixby, what is the time today? Siyempre,
It's 6:39 p.m.
Ayan, 6:39 p.m. na daw po dito. Opo, ayan. So, voice search optimization is the process of optimizing web pages to appear in voice search. So, I talked to Bixby kanina. Bixby is the voice assistant of Samsung devices. Ayan. Other examples are Alexa and Google Assistant. Ayan, mga Amazon Echo. And napaka-convenient ng voice search optimization kasi we can do multiple things without like physically doing the search on your phone. So you can easily cook dinner while setting multiple timers or reading a message. Ayan. And voice search optimization is there's right now for this year there is an estimate of 8 billion digital assistants accessible to everyone. Ayan, web dev daw, sabi ni Angelo. Okay, next is, kagaya nung sa 4 picks 1 nerd nyo kanina, is AI, artificial intelligence powered chatbots. Ayan. So in here naman, this technology uses natural language processing or NLP and machine learning. This is to understand user intent and provide human-like experience. So ang nagiging goal ng chatbots is to reduce or di naman totally remove, pero yung mga support managers, and especially when it comes to customer service. And aside from that, it is accessible 24/7. And with artificial intelligence and machine learning, these chatbots, they are self-learning. So they understand and learn how the human responds to their automated messages or automated responses. And then from there, mas natututunan nila kung ano yung much better way or the better algorithm to respond to your requests or needs. And they can easily answer frequently asked questions like kumain ka na ba? Ano yung favorite mong number sa electric fan? Mga ganon. But kidding aside, this also helps like mas mapapadali yung mga process of communication and less um, human intervention when it comes to support. And with that, um, when you talk to an AI-powered chatbot, if, for example, the AI doesn't know how to respond to your inquiry, that chatbot will direct you to the right human that will be needing further support with. So that's the current like goal and trend with AI-powered chatbots. All right, next is cybersecurity. These are one of my favorite topics is cybersecurity. Of course, you want your website to be protected Kagaya ng gusto mong maprotektahan ang puso mo na hindi ka na masaktan ulit. And with cybersecurity, in definition, it's the protection of computer systems and networks from information, disclosure, theft, damage, or disruption. Sabi ni Rahab, masakit. Oo nga. Pero mas masakit kung hindi mo poprotektahan ang iyong web page or iyong web app. And in relation to web development trends, the developers can take precautions by using strong encryption techniques to safeguard sensitive data. So pag sinabing web developer, hindi mo lang iintindihin kung paano makapag-program gumawa ng code at maglagay ng hello world sa iyong web page. Of course, if you're going to create a high-scale web application with a lot of um, features, lot or maraming like project requirements on it, you would need to, of course, practice yung best cybersecurity practices natin. And especially when it involves a lot of processing data, processing sensitive information like bank information, personal data, your address, your name, pangalan ng crush mo. So, and if you want to learn more about cybersecurity, I also have a video on my YouTube channel about the introduction to cybersecurity at ginamit ko si Marites as an example of how to avoid attacks or threats. Ayan. And I also have a video about best practices to cybersecurity. Ayan. Baka masyado kayo na-distract, ah. We're still learning web development trends. And if you want to learn how to practice encryption and decryption, I also have a tutorial about cryptography for beginners, especially if you're that type of person who's really interested to learn about cybersecurity and also and information security. All right. Next is virtual reality. Ayan. So virtual reality, and nag-start to with one of the early adopters ng virtual reality is McDonald's. If you haven't heard, in 2016, they created the McDonald's Happy Goggles, wherein it's just made out of cardboard na may parang, I don't know kung parang naka-zoom in siya na lens in between, ayan. And dito nagsimula yung early emergence ng virtual reality. And up until now, so few years later, the goal with virtual reality is to provide a more simulated experience. And one of the virtual reality products that we have are Oculus Rift and Google Cardboard. And they are expected to revolutionize industries such as specifically tourism, architecture, and retail. If you're going to observe kung ano yung other integrations with virtual reality, currently they're doing virtual reality games, virtual reality workouts, watching a movie in VR, etc. So it's a more simulated experience. There's also one back in 2016 with Volvo na you can test drive a car using VR. So ayan siya. Okay. Next is serverless architecture. This is also known as serverless computing. So, at ano serverless architecture? Parang pagiging architect na ba kami? So, that's not what that means, but it's more on focusing how things are interrelated, both software and hardware with one another. And it is a software development model where apps are hosted by a third party. In a good way, hosted by a third party. So you don't need to handle software or hardware. Ayan. And if you want to learn more or deep dive with serverless architecture and cloud computing, one of the examples or service providers are Amazon Web Services. And we also have a community in the Philippines called AWS Lab Pilipinas. So for the previous year, we created a lot of events and a lot of free webinars about serverless architecture. And we have that on our Facebook page, AWS Lab Pilipinas. So you can access it anytime you want. So, and it's all for free. Ayan. Next is JavaScript framework. Ayan. A while ago, you did yung Perfect One word JavaScript, HTML, and it's really one of the fundamental like technologies that you would be needing to learn, especially when you start doing web development. And especially if you want to start pursuing a career as a web developer or software engineer. Ayan. And with JavaScript frameworks, these are compilation of code libraries which developers can access pre-written code for regular programming tasks. So, back then, nung nag-web development class kami, nagkaroon kami ng challenging time learning web development. It was because everything was based on books. It was not based on kung ano yung ginagawa ng industry. Which at sometimes, um, naintindihan din namin at the same time, we can feel parang nakaka-frustrate. Kasi especially as a IT or computer science student, you want to be at par on what the industry is currently doing. However, at the same time, kailangan mo din matutunan at maintindihan kung paano nga ba ginawa before ang certain web applications. Kasi I had 2 courses in web development and hindi kami pinayagan gumamit ng mga frameworks. We had to code from scratch. Di kami pwede. Kasi with frameworks, pre-written na siya. Ibig sabihin, you can just get from an open source code, yung mga frameworks, like say, for example, if you want a specific structure or UI on your web page, pwede mo siyang gayahin kasi may pre-written code na in JavaScript form. And we were not allowed to do that. And that time, I was exposed to the tech community, which helped me gain more knowledge. And doon ko natutunan na may ganun pala, na may mas madaling paraan to learn how to do web development. And these are through frameworks and also libraries. So if you want to explore, ang dami with on the internet, mga open source software. And right now in 2023, sorry, may typo ako, but it is expected to involve user interface and user experience, testing, and project management aspects with frameworks. Kasi currently, there are certain limitations with the frameworks, and they're currently improving to involve front-end development and as well. It also helps developers to write code modules without fearing legacy browser incompatibility. Atcha, ano ibig sabihin nito? So, there are certain syntax na hindi compatible sa ibang browser. So that is also something that you have to consider, ayan, when learning about HTML, HTML5, JavaScript, and CSS as well. It's the compatibility, especially if you want to create a web page that is accessible through all types of browsers and all types of platforms as well. And one example of a good JavaScript framework, or I would rather say popular framework, is Angular. So we also have a community here in the Philippines called Angular PH. And there's a lot of free resources also that you can watch if you also want to learn about that as well. Ayan. And next is Atcha. Pwede ba tayo gumawa ng application ng hindi nagko-code? Pwede. But ngayon ko lang yan natutunan, Atcha. Buong buhay ko na nag-aaral ako, nagko-code kami para gumawa ng web app. Ayan, same experience. I just graduated last year and parang nagulat ako na pwede palang gumawa ng app na hindi nagko-code. And ito, natutunan ko lang sa work. So I was working as a application analyst for an Australian company, and they have given me a task to create an application for our recruitment team. And with that, with the limited tools I have, the company was solely using Microsoft products, and one of them is the Microsoft Power App platform. So I started to explore Power Apps. It was not taught to us at school. At that time, nag-aaral din ako ng thesis namin, and I was also exploring different tools. So malaking tulong talaga siya. And with Power Apps, the way I self-studied to create an app is through the documentation guide and also the Power Platform community. So meron silang forum doon, and then doon ako nakagawa ng apps without code. So there are two different trends to this. We have the no code and we have the low code. So Atcha, what is no code? So usually, especially businesses, small to large businesses who would be needing like an application right away. They use the Power Apps tool to create an application without needing to code. Mas madali kasi sa kanila gumawa ng application na madalian using the Power Apps. Kasi with Power Apps, it's just drag and drop. Parang GUI, Graphical User Interface. So, drag and drop lang nila, especially ang Power Apps ay ginagamit pag pwede kang gumawa ng interactive forms if you want to create a page that you will be needing to get information from someone, but you want to automate it to convert it into a form right away. So that is an example of it. Or if you just want to showcase your portfolio, create your web page na pwede mo lang gawin ng na short amount of time, you can create Power Apps. However, low code, I still did some little coding or like some scripts in Power Apps. That's what you call low code. Hindi mo kailangan ng heavy to put a lot of commands to it. Just with creating applications using the no code, low code, there are certain limitations that you have to consider. I would still recommend for you to create an application, especially kayo ng mga tech students, is to utilize yung mga JavaScript frameworks or create other technologies, create your serverless architecture, create an end-to-end application from designing, planning, to development, to deployment. Kasi doon makakasa talaga yung programming skills nyo. So with Power Apps, it's also a good tool that you can explore if you just want to spend your time exploring the tool na mas madalian. So drag and drop and just a little modifying of the codes. Ayan. And if you want to learn more, I have a video on my YouTube channel. Ayan, how to create your first app with no code. Ayan, ang dami ko ng plug ha. Naku, kung di pa kayo mag-subscribe, di ko na alam. Anyway, next is Core Web Vitals. This is also something that can be new to your ears, Core Web Vitals. This is also somewhat related to when I created my first progressive web application. Ginamit ko din ito. If we're going to review back about progressive web application, diba? This technology is something that is emerging because you don't need to have internet to access it. It's wait lang, distract ako. It's also going to be somewhat like a native app. Ayan. And it's also responsive, and it's also easily accessible and more convenient if you create an application that is a progressive web application. And in order to create a progressive web application, it also needs to pass the metrics or the vitals na tinatawag, which is the core web vitals. So this is introduced by Google. Ang focus talaga ng core web vitals is to test if a website is pasok siya dun sa papasok siya sa criteria ng search engine results. So these includes 3 factors that can help improve the website overall user experience. And we have 3 vitals currently. And according to Google, hindi siya fixed. It's still going to change over time, but right now ito yung parang metrics nila. We have the LCP, or what we call largest contentful paint. Ayan, I won't go through all of it, pero what the Core Web Vital does, so again, diba, titignan niya yung overall performance ng isang web application. So titignan nila kung gaano siya kabilis mag-load, kung gaano kabilis mag-load yung text, image, or video. So meron silang benchmark score. We also have FID, or what we call first input delay. Ayan, it shows the interactivity of your page. It says here, in other words, the time it takes for your website to respond after a user clicks. So pag press mo yung button, gaano siya kabilis mag-respond. And they have a benchmark of 100 milliseconds or less. And the third is CLS, or what we call cumulative layout shift. And it shows whether your page is stable or not. Pati page, tinitignan kung stable o hindi. Walang hugot yan, ha? But if your page is not visually stable, that is, if the elements on the page move while loading, your user will have a bad experience. So meron silang benchmark score. And one of the tools that they use for the Core Web Vitals is Page Speed Insights. Google Search Console, and Lighthouse. So, Lighthouse pa lang yung nagagamit ko when I tested my progressive web app. But meron yung gear and tinitignan kung gaano ka ganda yung user experience or overall performance ng app mo, which is good. Especially sa thesis. Kasi, nung nag-thesis kami, yung iba namin, yung other groups, they just focus kasi kung ano yung naituro sa kanila. Especially sa mga nagtithesis ngayon, ang magandang advantage is for you to hindi naman advanced study, but to explore other like this one, itong talk natin today, mga web development trends, mga bagay na data na pwede nyo ilagay sa study nyo na makakatulong, especially if you're going to create a web page na you're going to test your page using the Core Web Vitals, using one of these tools. And it will help you like prove that your web page is more efficient and it exceeds the overall expected performance, or it exceeds the benchmark score. And that would be something really good and will make your study different compared to others. Ayan. Next is responsive websites. So responsiveness has been observed during the past years, and the goal of a responsive web application is to load a web page on your computer, say for example, on your tablet and on your phone na nakabase siya sa resolution or the size of the screen, in short. And according to GMI, they say that companies should invest in responsive web design to create websites that automatically adapt to any device. Especially kung wari nagugutom ka or gusto mong padalhan ngayon ng cake, si Crush, gamit ang Grab app mo. So, nasa labas ka, nakadata ka lang, yung sabihin natin yung Grab app, hindi siya naka-responsive. Pag tinignan mo siya sa phone mo, parang size na ng computer. So, mahirap makita, di ba, maliit yung font. The purpose of responsive websites is for your web application to be responsive to the resolution of your screen. Say, for example, your phone. So, yun siya. It's not, hindi ko ano yung makita mo sa computer mo, yun dapat yung makikita mo sa phone mo. Kasi yung size ng computer mo is different from your phone. Ayan. Next, ayan. I think I'm at the end. Ang bilis. But, going back to our trends, kung naaalala niyo pa, alam ko hindi na dapat pinabalikan ng nakaraan, pero itong topic natin ay makakatulong sa inyo. So if we're going to go back, tawag na tawad dyan na, I will just go back a few slides before we go back to this one. So here are the trends for 2023. Again, we have responsive websites. Ayan. We have Core Web Vitals. We have no-code, low-code technology. We have JavaScript frameworks, serverless architecture, virtual reality, ayan, cybersecurity. We also have AI-powered chatbot, voice search optimization, accelerated mobile pages, and ayan pa, PWA and blockchain technology. So out of those, I believe, ayan, na-exit ko na. Out of those 11 trends today, ano yung pinaka nagustuhan nyo? You can pick one. Ayan. Anybody can answer while I open my presentation here. I'm also looking at the chat sa Facebook Live. Ayan. Blockchain, sabi ni Keith. Thank you. How about the others? Ayan. Ang dami natin. 109 plus 26. Basta yun na yun. Madami tayo. So, I'm hoping to see 10 answers. No-code app, syempre, sabi ni Angel. Oo nga naman. How about the others? Cybersecurity, very good. Cybersecurity and web development without coding, no code, and si Marie. Ayan. Who else? Can I hear from 6 more people? PWA, sabi ni Angelo. Voice search optimization. AI-powered chatbots para may kausap. Ganun ka ba ka-single? De joke lang. Ayan. Who else? I'm also reading the comments sa Facebook Live. Sino pa? Ayan. Meron bang ano pa yung ibang nagustuhan nyo or same answer din ba? Let me know. Ayan. While I navigate through this my presentation. Anybody else? Andyan pa ba kayo or ginote nyo na din kami? Grabe naman kayo. Ayan, wait lang. PWA, sabi ni Froilan, very good. Wait, ayan. AI-powered chatbots, thank you, AI. Who else? Cryptography, virtual reality, very good. Ayan, okay, thank you. Napaka-active nyo naman. Ganyan kayo pag may hugot eh. Anyway, so thank you for your answers. And with that, ayan, before I end my presentation, with all of these trends na natutunan nyo right now, everything, it doesn't mean na that is the only thing that you should be focusing. As you can see, akala natin, sana hindi pa pala, joke lang. Akala natin when it comes to web development, you will just be focusing on programming and coding and making, putting hello world, seeing hello world show on your web page. Ganun din yung mentality ko when I was still a college student. But upon exposing myself in the industry and learning how to code and learning how to create applications, whether you do programming or not, other things need mo involved, especially when you want to become a programmer, if you want to have a career. And makikita nyo, it includes marketing, it includes optimization, it includes cybersecurity, it also includes web design, ayan, automation, ayan, and virtual reality, artificial intelligence. So if you're going to see here on the screen right now, you also have to consider these things. So we have technology, data, napaka-importante ng data, and you need to apply cybersecurity for that. Also you have to take note of the cost. Pero mostly kasi with the careers that we have right now in the industry, sometimes yung cost depende din sa role mo. Can be a product manager, project manager. Sometimes kasi the programmers don't focus on the cost, but I remember when I was working for a startup, this is also something that I had to consider kasi I was proposing a product to them that included vendors na I was proposing like three things na kung ano yung mas mura, mas efficient, and mas mapapadali yung trabaho. So, depende. Kasi, depende sa magiging role mo or magiging responsibilities mo in the industry. And also, of course, target. Kung target mo ba is accessibility, if you want to create an application that can be used by color-blinded people, ayan, yung mga for PWT, tama ba? Sasabihin ko PWA, mali naman yun. Pero, ayun, yun ba yung mga cost nyo or kung meron kayong mga audio visuals na makakatulong to help the user navigate your web page. So those are the things that you need to consider as well. And I've also added more things here kasi I've heard nga na CS students didn't have web development and also na iba sa inyo or majority sa inyo ay nagtithesis ngayon. One of the things that I used to nag-thesis ako is Figma. This is what helped us to what made us stand out, yung thesis group namin, is because nung gumawa kasi kami ng web application, yung thesis namin is career decision support for senior high school students. At heart yung thesis namin kasi kaming unang batch ng K-12 and we want to help senior high school students help them in making their decision kung anong college course yung kukunin nila. And yun yung study na ginawa namin. And of course, nung nagtithesis proposal kami, hindi naman kami makagawa agad ng code. So we created a prototype. And we created the application, a prototype of the application using Figma. So if you want to learn how to use Figma for prototyping and web design, you can definitely check that on my YouTube channel as well. I have like 3 versions of teaching the students how to use Figma. Ayan. And frameworks. And if you want to learn about front-end frameworks, I also have a video about that. I did a talk last year about front-end frameworks if you want to learn more about that. And that ends my presentation. Thank you guys for your time. And also, I'm interested to know your feedback and especially kung ano pa yung gusto nyong topics na matutunan. And of course, kung gusto nyo may hugot, let me know then in the feedback form. I will put it in the chat here. Ayan. So go ahead and submit your feedback. Let me know how I did today or kung meron akong need and improve for the following sessions to come. Ayan, or you can also scan this QR code. Ayan. And if you want to learn more, ayan, aside from answering the feedback form, I will be having a talk at Google Developer Student Clubs in PLM. It's about the intro to UI UX. If you want to learn more about that, they'll be hosting a hackathon or what they call an ideathon. And I'll be sharing my knowledge about the introduction to user interface and user experience. Ayan. And if you want to learn more about CS or IT, I also have other contents on my YouTube channel. You can find me on my Facebook page, ayan, Atcha Abe. On YouTube, I'm also on LinkedIn if you want to connect with me professionally. I'm also on Instagram and Twitter at Calligraphr Abe. And I also do non-tech videos on my channel as well. Ayan. Thank you for your time, guys, and I hope you learned a lot today.